Les, Union President Liz Davis is sincerely worried, concerned about the emotional toll this is all having on teachers and students. For instance, she shared with me a very heartbreaking story. She said the saddest that she has heard thus far. A fourth grade teacher desperately trying to get a hold of his student finally did, only to find out that student lost her mother to COVID-19 and her grandmother died from cancer that same day.
Right now, a lot of healing needs to take place. We need to talk about professional development for teachers as well as students.
Liz Davis says D.C. has the highest rate of teacher turnover in the country. She warns if the emotional stress of this pandemic is not immediately addressed, we could lose more teachers.
And I'm so glad to hear that the chancellor wants to address, at the reopening of school, address those issues around the trauma that students are experiencing, that parents and teachers are experiencing. A lot of teachers are internalizing some of their students' trauma.
Davis fought to get a seat on the education committee for the city's reopening plan. She says district leaders are talking about going back to school in phases with a small percentage of students.
I would not want to see an implementation plan for this school district develop without teachers at the table. As far as I'm concerned, it will be a recipe for disaster. Teachers need to be in the mix because they understand the intimate details of what their students need.
And each school community has been impacted in a very different way.
Absolutely. And that's one of the points that was raised in our Reopen DC committee, that we cannot have one model for reopening.
Equity for the 6,000 students who live in homeless shelters, those with special needs, and English language learners. Davis says regardless of what school looks like in the fall, our families and school communities must be made whole before learning can take place.
They need support. They need help.
Well, here's a window into what we're possibly looking at. Davis says that some form of distance learning is likely to continue in the fall. So she says it's imperative that teachers get more technical training. I reached out to the mayor's office. They said we should expect to hear more details about their rollout plan for next school year later this week. This is a very important issue. I want to hear from you, parents, teachers. Let me share your story if you have concerns about what school will look like in the fall. We're live in Southeast. Delia Gonsalves, WUSA 9.